It's Sunday afternoon, and that means that it's time for Alongside Lauren. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm so glad that we get to spend a little bit of time today getting some bits and pieces prepared to hopefully make the coming week just that little bit easier. I have been preparing, well, it was originally going to be some savoury scrolls that I was going to pop in the freezer for when we are next on church morning tea in 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure that the last time I made this recipe, I must have doubled the dough because it actually made enough for more than 9 people. So I think these are going to potentially just be a nice little treat for us to have with our Bible study tonight. I'm going to have to come up with something else to do for morning tea. But that's all right. We've got some savoury scrolls here featuring tomato paste with some oregano, some frozen sad rocket, and also some grated parmesan and a little bit of Jarlsberg in there as well. And the dough that I have made is a Greek yogurt dough. So it's a dough, it's a 2-ingredient dough that's been around for donkey's yonks, but apparently was made popular on the TikToks last year. I have no idea because I'm not on the TikTok. I look at them on Instagram 3 weeks later like a normal person. So I am going to pop these into the oven for, I reckon 12 minutes. And we'll see how they go. So we've got I'm quite excited about the meals that we've got coming this week. Is that a weird thing for me to get excited about? Quite possibly.
Not at all. I think it's a very normal thing to get excited about.
Hello, husband and sous chef.
Hello. Yes, I am Heath. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome, darling. Welcome to your own kitchen. You may be unfamiliar with how the dishwasher operates. I have got just some puff pastry that is going to go on top of the bacon and egg pie that we're going to be having for dinners this week. I know bacon and egg pie is a bit of a Kiwi classic, I reckon.
Old school classic.
Definitely
you reckon?
Kiwi classic.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
know. The recipe that I use is from Annabelle Langbein, who is a fantastic Kiwi cook. And I just remember that I need to make sure that I've got some puff pastry defrosting to go onto the top.
Ah, yes.
Nothing but the finest black and gold.
The black and
Here
gold pastry.
At the household of Alongside Lauren. And I'll just wrap the rest of that up very carefully in some Mega Kung wrap. So I have made the short crust pastry, which will go on the bottom of the bacon and egg pie already. It's a recipe that I've been making for a little while now, where you actually get old bits and pieces of bread, and that you would normally use for like breadcrumbs or croutons or something like that. Completely dry it out in the oven and then blitz it to kind of make like flour, I guess, and then use that for the dough. The other, I guess, sort of frugal living aspect to this particular dish is that last year Heath and I made a really lovely beef roast, but it was quite fatty, and so I ended up rendering a bunch of, don't mind me while I drop a bunch of pasta, rendering a bunch of the fat, and I popped it in the freezer because I figured
Sorry
it would
about
be...
all the crinkling, everybody.
Oh, you're welcome for the crinkling. I've got some fancy pants protein boosting penne. Who knows?
All right.
That I bought because it was half price. It's got some ridiculous amount of protein in it.
It looks very dark.
It is. It's made with teff flour, which is like a grain from the African continent. I've bought teff flour and used teff flour before for a type of this was me trying to do too many things at once.
Yeah.
It was like a sourdough fermented flatbread that we would make with like a North African sort of curry dish. And this particular pasta is featuring that quite heavily, so that's why it's quite high in protein. But I just wanted to check to see if it's got like weird cooking ingredient, like instructions. Like sometimes with the gluten-free pastas, you have to cook them for like 2 minutes because otherwise they go from being perfectly edible to, well, as edible as gluten-free pasta can be, to being a little bit smushy in like 2 seconds flat. But very excitingly, it would seem that I just cook it like a normal person for 8 minutes.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes. So for our lunches, we're going to have a roast vegetable salad, pasta salad with the Fancy Pants Teff pasta,
Excellent.
which hopefully will taste a little bit better than it looks, because it looks a little bit terrifying.
Oh, it just looks really dark. like not flour, like
Yeah,
something else.
This is true. So I'm going to probably get cracking on get it rolling out the dough, because it's
Alright.
it's a little bit special, like me. So it might take a little while for me to get rolling out. But while I get onto that, you've got two awful things that you get to pick to peel. You can either peel beetroot or you can peel the pumpkin.
Okay, all right. I'll do the pumpkin because I've whinged about it in the past. Time for me to man up a bit.
And also, what wine would you like?
I was going to say, I was hoping that was my task.
Yeah, well, sorry, there was
but
going to be two
now
tasks.
it's yours.
Oh, do you want red or white?
I would like white, I think, if we've got a nice chili white.
A nice chili white.
Nice, cool white is what I mean. Because it has been a hot day.
It has been a hot day.
And I am ready for a nice, cool glass of wine. That'd be good.
It has been. I had the nicest day yesterday. It was so lovely.
Yeah. Tell everybody about it.
So there's a particular fabric designer called, I can't pronounce her actual, it's like Tuna.
Oh yeah, Benurmanurmer.
She's Norwegian, but she is the designer for the fabric brand Tilda, and she's just
See, I didn't even know there really were fabric brands.
Oh my word! Yes, there are.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got the fabric that you buy at the shop.
Yes.
And it's not like a brand name T-shirt, but it's a brand of fabric.
Yes,
so
it
there you
is.
go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And her fabric lines are they're sort of this beautiful, whimsical kind of Scandinavian with lots of like aquas and that sort of like dusty duck egg blue, and it's spectacular and beautiful. Oh, Heath.
Man, this chopping board.
Yes, the chopping board.
Thirsty work. What happened to your drink? Did you not get yourself one?
I will get myself one, but that just wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, okay.
I am having a chop at you for not paying attention, and I did not do enough baking paper.
Yes, so you went and saw this lady.
I did. It was like a Jubilee celebration because the brand has been in existence for 25 years.
And you took your mum.
I did. I took my mum, and we just had the best day. So we got there, and we had morning tea, and we sort of listened to a presentation from the designer where she talked about, where she gets the inspiration from and how it all sort of started, and it was just the best.
The story that you told me, the only real story that you told me about it, was really interesting, that the brand they think about as a person.
Yes.
So when they're designing their fabric,
yeah, they
you'll
kind
have to,
of yeah.
You'll have
So
to take over from here.
So the brand is called Tilda, and so they kind of have, like, I guess, an identity in mind of Tilda, and it's, they kind of envisage her as being the kind of person who would be wearing a ball gown but taking an umbrella. So she's like gorgeous and stylish and a bit whimsical and what have you, but also like a bit not entirely put together. And so when they would do a photo shoot or something like that for the products within the line, they would sort of look critically at the photo shoot and then go, what would be the one thing that, like, Tilda would have left on the floor, or that Tilda would have forgotten, or something
it's-
like that.
It's for building up like the background and the details around the
Yeah.
fabric, just to make it look like it's sort of
Like
part of a set.
lived in.
part of a
and-
live. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I found that fascinating when you
As,
told me
as
about
did
that.
I.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Giving it like personifying the brand. I think it's very clever. It makes it a lot easier to think about what looks the brand goes for.
But yeah, I guess I found it really interesting that they kind of think of Tilda as being, like a person.
So, like, I know of one other like brand of fabric, which is that really flashy one from
Liberty.
London, Liberty. Yep.
Liberty.
And
Yeah.
that's about it. Like, and so where does Tilda fit in the like echelons of
Well,
premium?
it's not quite as expensive, and I guess
Okay.
like because Liberty does like a lot of sort of furnishing stuff, but also crafting and apparel fabric as well. I'll just pour myself a red wine. I just haven't got there yet.
Oh, okay. Do you want the Shiraz here?
Yes, please. Oh, thank you. You didn't have to do that.
Oh, it's fine. So yeah, good days were had by all.
Oh,
I didn't go to see the fabric show.
no. So I think Heath was
So I was more than
grateful
happy
that I
with
took
that.
Mum.
I was more than happy with that because it's probably not my bag, but it was also a very, very flashy,
Oh, it
event.
was.
highly like fairly exclusive, I think.
Yes,
And
it was.
people were flying from all over the place to go and see this
like
lady.
people were flying over from like New Zealand and other places to in WA, like to get over there. So to see it. So I felt really, really honoured and really special, and it was such a lovely thing to be able to do with my mum.
So what have you got going on here at the moment?
Well, I've got pastry that I probably put too much water in the dough of,
Okay.
which is fine. That I am trying to roll out so that I can get it into the dish.
Right. So the water content is why it's sticking a tiny bit to the roller?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. Good to know.
It's also because, it's not working with necessarily your premium ingredients, because we've made it with
Did you go through all of the different things that have gone into this?
what?
Into this base?
Yes. So me using like stale bread that I've
Stale
dried
bread.
out and crackers as well.
Like 4 different
for the-
crackers. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different
Yeah.
crackers. Anything else?
Oh, and then
Old-
instead of using the butter, I'd
Regular
used,
butter.
like
Yeah.
sort of
Drippings.
the shortening.
Shortening.
That
Alright,
is
what's that?
the
Pasta.
pasta.
Pasta time. How's it looking?
It looks pretty good.
Are you going to bite a piece?
Mhm.
What's your vibe?
That's our amount of cooked. And it would, it kind of just tastes like wholemeal pasta. So. But not gross or anything, so I'll take it. I've got a rather congested sink at present.
Yeah. It's a little bit busy in there.
That's all right.
All right. Time to bring out the big guns.
Ooh.
Hoya.
So that's going to go in the salad. So a couple of weeks ago you did some really nice cubing.
Yep.
So if you can repeat the cubing, that would be marvellous.
Sure.
Okay, now.
Oh boy.
Oh, great. Let me capture your failure.
Oh, okay. So, you're leaving it on the paper.
Yep.
All right, that's good. That makes sense.
Well, paper and currently bent, but.
Yeah, sure. But you just sort of massage it into place, right?
Yep.
Because I mean, ultimately, it's the cross section of like the bacon and egg and stuff that you care about.
Well,
I reckon.
yeah, I mean, you do want the base to be nice.
Of course. Of course. And because this thing's full of shortening, it's going to be nice. I'm convinced of that. Very good. Very, very good.
It does smell vaguely of beef roast. So I probably wouldn't use the beef shortening if I was going to make like a lemon meringue pie or something like that. But for the purposes of today, for a nice bacon and egg pie, I think it's just the ticket.
Yo-ho.
I'm just going to pop this in the fridge if I can fit it.
Oh, this is great. Okey-dokey.
I know that's really dumb, Lauren. You got more things to put in there.
Oh, timer's gone off again. What do we got now?
The scrolls.
Oh, cool. It's all happening in our kitchen today.
Oh, they don't look too bad.
I knew they'd come up a treat by the time you cooked them. Ho ho ho.
Look at that.
They look great.
So maybe I'll just do like a little something else to go with them for church morning tea, but
Yeah.
that's not too bad. I'll
Yeah,
just wait
way
for
to
them to cool
go.
down and then I'll freeze them.
It's amazing how quickly they like change into a fancy looking cheesy.
Into something edible.
Oh, like yeah, they look great.
Yeah,
Way to go.
not my finest work, but that's
Oh,
alright.
I reckon that all of the like crispy edges and stuff that come from it, really good.
So I'll just pull one aside. We
Okay.
will need to wait for it to cool down a bit, but it is
Is that-
important that we test it.
It is very important that we test it. Yes. Ah, yes. Very also very important.
I'll just pop that to the side.
So earlier in the week, well, actually last weekend, we realised that Tuesday was Pancake Tuesday,
Yes,
and Wednesday was Valentine's Day,
yes.
and so we decided to combine the two and
Which is
have
very normal.
Valen Pancake Day.
Yeah, Tuesday, Valentine's Pancake Day on a Wednesday.
Yes. So things were a bit busy through the week, and we had an available Wednesday night. So we were going to go out for dinner or something like that, which we sometimes do for Valentine's Day, don't we?
Yeah,
But-
we kind of like sometimes we do,
Sometimes.
sometimes we.
But we decided this time, no, let's just have pancakes on Wednesday night at home. So we did that,
We did do that.
and the pancakes that we had starter pancakes.
Yeah, sourdough starter
oh,
pancakes.
All the pancakes were still the same pancake style, weren't they?
Yes.
But we had our starter pancakes, which were regular but sourdough, like you say, with maple syrup and maple bacon.
Which is this bacon here. It's phenomenal.
Oh, speak of the bacon.
Speak of the bacon. Dag. All right.
There it
I'm gonna
is.
put that there. We need to remember to vacuum and seal it again.
Right. Oh, you should smell this stuff. I can smell it right now. It is
really is
so
amazing.
it is so potent, and in a good way. In a good way, not in a bad way. This is a little bit
It's
dangerous.
So good. Oh, that's not at all nerve-wracking. So this is bacon that we've kind of bought, which is sort of offcuts, which means that they're bigger bits.
They're really chunky
But
bits, some of
it's
them.
almost like ham,
Really, really chunky. Yeah.
but it's just the flavour is phenomenal. It's really smoky, and it's got the sort of sweetness from the maple there, and yeah, it's really, really nice.
Yeah. And it's a little bit fatty, and yeah, like you say, the the smoky flavour through it, it's outstanding. So went really, really well with pancakes, and it's going to go really well with our bacon and egg
pie.
pie as well. And then the second pancake menu item for our Wednesday night awesome pancake.
The dessert pancakes.
Yeah, the dessert pancakes were ice cream, stone fruit,
Yes.
and
Strawberry syrup.
strawberry syrup. Oh, it was fantastic. So good. So
So we're just going to add a sliced onion on top of the bacon. Oops. So this particular recipe I've adapted from a recipe by Annabelle Langdine, the Kiwi cook, and the story is that she made this for her husband and then he proposed.
that's great.
It is a pretty good bacon
Well,
egg pie, so I can't blame him.
If for some reason we weren't married and we'd had the pancakes,
Mm-hmm.
I would have proposed.
Well, good. I think I mean, no pressure, but I feel as though like that's a good judge of a good Valentine's Day.
Would you
meal.
propose after?
Would you propose after?
I like it.
I've also now got a selection of just green herbs from the garden. So I've got a bit of oregano. And I'll just chuck in there. I'm not chopping anything. That's what you're doing. I've got
That
some
is what
thyme.
I'm doing.
Plus you could use some dried herbs in here if you don't have fresh, but I don't know. The fresh ones do add such a lovely
You stand by your fresh
additional-
herbs.
an additional layer of flavour and complexity. I really should have worn an apron. I've got so much flour on myself.
Well, it's starting to look pretty good. Haven't even got the egg in yet. Taking shape. Look at this. Very nice.
And we'll add in some sage. It's such a classic pairing to have with pork and sage.
Brilliant.
There's something, I don't know, there's something quite lovely, I think, about having like picnicky sort of foods for dinner, particularly when it's still a bit hot, which it has been here in southeast Queensland. We'd had, for our dinners last week, we did like I'd done corned meat, and so we did sort of like a ploughman salad, I guess. So we had the corned meat and nice chopped up veg and boiled eggs and some roasted veg to add in too.
But of course, it was still salad.
We do eat a lot of salad.
Wouldn't be a Barker household meal without some salad,
Yeah.
particularly at breakfast time.
Yeah, I know you think it's weird.
Nah, it's fine. All right, I'm getting pretty close with this pumpkin. What's the next steps for the pumpkin?
Well, the next steps for the pumpkin will be, we'll get it in, just roasting into the oven, and then we'll look at peeling some beetroot.
Yeah. Great.
But I reckon I'll just focus on getting this in, because watching
Get
me
that into
prep
the oven?
roasted veg is not very exciting. I do it very
Yeah,
regularly.
that's okay. Yeah.
Okay, so that is the parsley and basil done. Now I've got here some potato that I've pre-cooked. Normally I would do slices of potato, but I had some leftover roast veg from last week that I had frozen.
Genius idea.
Just to give me a bit of a head start with this. So I've got the cubes of roasted potato, but I've also got a little bit of roast onion, some roast sweet potato, and some roasted parsnips as well, which
Yeah.
I froze and have just
It's fantastic.
defrosted.
Yeah. I think that this was very clever of you, hun, because we were talking earlier about having to prepare some potato, and then all of a sudden I saw this out on the bench. I'm like, she's a clever girl.
Nice Jurassic Park reference there, darling.
Well, we only had one serve of the stuff,
We
didn't
did.
we?
So I still did one extra potato to kind of just
yeah, that's a good idea.
bulk it out a little bit.
But it made a lot of sense to use it because
I
we
thought so.
we had one serve, which is not as useful in our household.
No. But it's also the kind of thing where, like, if you just had the one serve, you could very easily use it for, like, I was contemplating putting it like an omelette or something like that during the week, or adding it to, I don't know, breakfast salad.
Lovely.
Now, the recipe
lovely.
that I use for bacon and egg pie uses a lot of eggs, so it uses 14 eggs.
14?
These are quite large eggs, so I'm going to only use 12 of these ones.
Righto. And milk and veggie stock.
A bit of veggie stock concentrate.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to start cracking eggs? I reckon if you do, just into the mug and then pop them into the Thermomix.
Straight in. Yep.
And then while Heath does that, I'm going to add something that he's going to be thrilled
straight
about.
off with a double yoker.
Oh, look at you.
Look at that. That's pretty cool.
Very fancy. Because Heath is going to love this. I've got a little bit of extra frozen chopped rocket that I'd had from the veggie, or the cheesy scrolls. I said veggie scrolls, that was a little bit Freudian.
Yeah. So some old frozen spinach. Mm-mm.
And I'm going to add in some old frozen
And
kale.
our cool double yoker right here. There he is.
But I just love how, like, vibrant and fresh this looks.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Another one. Wow. All right, it's a
double yoker
it's
batch.
a double yoker batch. This happens sometimes. Hey,
Yeah, it's so weird.
it is so weird. That was only a single. Throw it away.
Yep, garbage. Alright, so we've got the kale there, which you'll be thrilled about.
Oh, yep. Great. Wow. There's really not a lot of room left in that.
Oh, that's alright, it'll squish down. Nice try, though.
So I started with 13, didn't I? So I'm doing all but one. That sounds
Maybe
right.
do all but 2. Just
Do
that.
do 11?
Yeah, do 11.
You want to leave 2 so that
Yeah.
we've got breakfast sorted tomorrow?
Basically. So I have to very professionally double check the recipe. Do, do, do. Just because I can't remember how much milk goes in.
I don't know if you mentioned, but I think the recipe calls for like putting some of the egg on top.
Yes, which you do
And not
like
blending it?
doing.
Yeah, for me personally, I'm not a big fan of that. Like, I hate to say the word, but like the the skin, the like clear coating that you get on top of a bacon and egg pie sometimes. I don't actually find that very pleasant. And so if you blitz the whole thing, well, I find it's tastier, but that's just me. It doesn't look as cool. But I also think that the yolks, when they're solid, are not as tasty. But that's possibly because I like a runny yolk when I'm having like eggs on toast and things like that. All right. 11 eggs. Kablamo. That is done. Trying to track it down?
Yeah. For some reason the search wasn't
Had some luck now.
working.
So early.
3/4 of a cup, and then if you want to just add in, I'll do it. Add in veggie stock.
Yeah, you go for it.
concentrate.
How much veggie stock are you putting in?
A good tablespoon.
Right.
Just because it adds in a nice additional flavour. A flavour.
Well, it is going to look like I've murdered somebody. And that is just unavoidable with beetroot. Such a vibrant colour.
That's beautiful.
I thought it was cool that you bought beetroot.
Yes, well, our local discount grocer had it on sale for 99 cents a kilo, which is quite good for beetroot.
Yeah.
So we bought
Growing
a
up,
few.
I never ever once had a regular beetroot. It was always
Outside of a tin.
tinned beetroot. And it was typically only for like salads and stuff. Whoa!
Would you? Ooh.
Nearly.
Oh, it's really bold in a white t-shirt, darling.
So far, so good.
Okay, we'll see how that goes.
So far, so good. Yep. How many did you want to do?
Well, I was contemplating doing 4, but that's quite a lot. What do you think?
I'll do 3.
Maybe 3.
Yep.
We'd had beetroot in our sourdough last week as well, which was
Yeah.
a delicious sourdough.
That was a clever move, and
Worked
it was
out
so
really, really
tasty.
well.
Yeah. That was the surprise ingredient, which was.
Which I completely spoiled the
Yeah, I
surprise
think
of.
you botched the surprise
That's
last
okay.
week.
I got really excited about it, and then I was like, the surprise ingredient of beetroot. Ah!
Hang on.
Hang on.
Wait. Yeah, that was great. All right,
It
so
was
what are you doing
really,
right
really
now?
Nice. So while I wait for the Thermomix to decide to wake up, I am just got the puff pastry and I'm just slicing it into wee strips so that I am able to
Like lattice it over the top?
do a nice lattice over the top of the pie.
Nice.
So we'll just get that to mix up. And we'll see if I have put too much stuff just generally in the...
Yeah. I trust you. It looks like it'll go down the gaps, but it's going to be tricksy. Well, that fit quite easily, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I was a little bit nervous though. Now
But-
I'll just do the...
What did you say?
Nothing. Definitely didn't say I was a little bit nervous.
Ah. All right, so this is the lattice. Yeah, nice. Love me some lattice.
I know.
Not to be confused with lettuce.
No, which we all know now that you do not love quite as much as the other Barker does.
Oh, lettuce isn't that bad. We'll have another look when you're getting close to... So yeah, you're just running diagonally in one direction and then
And then I'll go diagonally.
you go diagonally the other way. Give it a nice look.
And look, the lattice is not really necessary.
No, but it looks great.
I think it does.
So I ran the grater a little bit close to my hand,
Ooh.
and I'm like, oh no, I reckon I've cut myself. And I'm like, it looks like I've cut myself.
You'll never know.
And then I went, nope, I haven't cut myself.
That's just the colour of my hands
That
now.
was just nothing. It was nothing at all. It was just beetroot flavored hands.
Ooh.
Hey, that is looking great.
Isn't
Absolutely
it
great.
It just looks so picnicky.
Yeah. It's done.
But I have pastry.
I know, but there's nowhere for it to go.
You're mean. You're a mean man.
It looks great though. Looks absolutely
Alright,
great.
so I've had an oven tray preheating,
Mm.
and this just will help to give the tart pastry bottom a bit of a head start.
Mhm.
So it will reduce the likelihood that it will be soggy. Oof. So we'll cook it at the high temp of 200 for 15 minutes and then drop it down. And then we get to do really exciting things like clean up the mess that I have made, prepare some salad and roast these vegetables. But having done this, I know it's going to make the coming week an awful lot easier. And I hope that you have also been able to take a few moments this Sunday to stop and pause and get prepared for the week ahead. And we can't wait to do it all again next week on Alongside Lauren.